How's everyone doing today? It's your boy JJ Domination, and today got a little collab video. No J&A podcast, but it is J&A discussing what's going to be going down in Madden 20. We got some early news. My boy Aaron's on the other side. Aaron, what's up?
What's going on, dude? Just ready to hate Madden and love it at the same time.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. You know, after the early overreaction period from myself, you know, now that it's been a little under 24 hours, you know, I think I'm gonna be as positive as I can be.
Right to fair trial, am I right?
Yeah, man. So oh man, a little econ reference there.
Yeah, dude. You know I had to.
Big ol' EOC today.
Sadly.
Alright, so we learned that in Madden 20 there are gonna be some new, I guess you could say a new game mode. Well, not even a new game mode, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. We're just gonna get into it. So let me read this little introductory misspelling, nobody went back to spell check EA article. Alright, so no, it's just a couple of errors here and there. It ain't nothing too serious. But I'd fire him. No, I'm just playing. I'd probably be like, yo, you know, can you proofread before you publish it?
Okay.
Dang, I wish there was a name. I'll try to look for one. Alright, so I'll read the little introductory and then we'll go straight into the preparing for the pros that they're talking about. Alright, so it's every football lover's dream to experience the thrills and excitement of becoming a superstar in the NFL, and that's exactly what you'll do in the face of the franchise QB1 career campaign, unleashing in Madden NFL 20. Welcome to the football narrative where you are the star. I wonder what they could be alluding to there, Aaron.
A little. Probably can use a quarterback.
Yeah, we'll get into that after we let me read this next bit. There's going to be a little bit of reading, so if you don't see me actually doing anything on the screen, that's because I'm reading, and your boy's got to focus. But preparing for the pros. When talking and listening to players, we kept hearing that being a star of their own football story would be fantastic. With that in mind, we crafted Face of the Franchise QB1, where the story is not only about you, but one where the choices you make matter. It's almost like a long shot, but with you in it instead of Devin Wade.
No way. I don't see that at all.
Dude, I know it seems unlikely. It's almost like Illuminati confirmed type stuff, but let me get to the next paragraph. It kicks off with creating yourself as a quarterback. Okay. Even using face editing. Even using face editing. Oh my gosh, such a new feature in video games. To get an improved likeness. Once you have your player, you begin in college, choosing from top schools to attend, except Alabama, then competing for a national championship in the college football playoffs, become the big man on campus, BMOC as they have it written in this article.
You know, it's all fun and games here until Alabama's not in the playoffs and make a big bullshit. Or not even like have a horrible season.
I just find it very interesting that they're not one of the options, but yet Texas Tech's in there. Anyway, we'll get to that later. And take home the title, but bring your A game, because your performance in college, just like on the real collegiate gridiron, has an impact on your capabilities and your draft stock. So somebody was saying this on stream, like on the stream. I didn't actually watch it. I just like seen somebody talk about the stream or whatever. I've been watching a lot of reaction videos to it, but a good comparison for this mode, as you'll figure out later, I'm sure you know who this is. Cardell Jones. Played for Ohio State. Their starting quarterback goes down, and it's like the first year of the college football playoffs, and they end up doing pretty good. Cardell Jones just balls out. So I mean, that's like
Yeah.
one little.
Is that what they're going for?
Well, that's what it seems like, just based on like what I've heard and seen, like in the little commercial and stuff. Because you know, when they had the Madden 20 commercial on draft night, they kind of showed like Clemson, and you're like, oh well, does this mean we'll get a future NCAA? Like, hold your horses. You know, Madden likes to do things 3 years at a time. You know, take it easy. But let me read this final I'm gonna read this final paragraph real quick for preparing for the pros, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. But the NFL draft doesn't just happen though. The combine comes first, ever increasing the importance and scrutinization. The combine is a key part of the process, and here, if you want your stock to soar, you'll need to focus on every rep and decision you make to keep your name rising on draft boards. Yeah, you want to be noticed by Mel Kiper, you need to play, guys. Where will you get picked, and where will your NFL career start? You'll find out on draft day. Or day 2 or day 3 of the draft. Aaron, so what are your thoughts so far on the news about a new like quarterback one, kind of like a career mode almost?
Yeah, I like to look at it from different ways than a lot of people are. Obviously, as you know, there's a lot of people frustrated that you can only use the quarterback position, and I could see, obviously, as a Madden fan, I see what's so upsetting about that. Like, like you said earlier, Madden takes things 3 years at a time, and isn't it better to say that we will end up being able to play as if we will never? And that's how I like to deal with Madden a lot. You know, certain features, hell, even long shot took them more than 3 years. I know it's not what we wanted, but that got us introduced into some stuff. You feel me what I'm saying? And
yeah.
For people stressing, I know it's 3 years out of our life, possibly 2. But with that said, we're still going to end up getting, it's pretty much definite that we're going to be able to play at different positions. But right now, what does most people play with when they do have a chance to play with a player anyways? It's quarterback.
The quarterback.
Yeah, so that's why they would choose to keep the quarterback. And, so some people are actually happy because it's not like they go not waste their time, but go and take their time playing other positions, But from fans like us that like to do that stuff, hell, even the offensive lineman, you might think that's boring, but we actually get thrill out of that,
Hey man, I get excited for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, Madden, you pissed off some people, but don't worry, you're also making people happy with even thinking about making, or even showing that you're trying to do something with the money that you steal from us every year.
I will say this, I like it. You know what? It's different, and I think we should like different and see where it goes. It does sound like NBA 2K17 all over again. Hey, pick a college, play here, win a championship, get drafted. Only difference is we get a combine. And last time we had a combine, this is where the why are we just a quarterback comes from. In Madden 09, they had a mode called Superstar Mode where you can literally be just about any position, including offensive line. And they had the combine, which was really hard. I'm just gonna be honest. It was just difficult. Like I don't even remember it because I haven't played it in so long. But like I've seen videos of like when people do throwback videos, like they'll play it for the mode, and it's just difficult. It's just weird. And they start out like in the low 50s. Kind of like older 2Ks. Like I know older NBA 2Ks, you started out in like the 50s, but it was like so easy to upgrade anyway. But I will say I like it. I like the fact that they're doing a quarterback mode. Eventually the payoff will be maybe even next year we start getting more positions. But I like the fact that college is being implemented because I'm not trying to be this guy. Yeah, I'm not trying to be this guy that's like gonna get everyone excited, like, oh, NCAA's back, guys, because like I love it too, and I hope it does come back. But don't expect that for like 3 years probably. Like they're barely getting schools to license their helmets and everything in the game, so we're just a little ways away. Progress, yes, but let's take a chill pill for a second. But shoot, I like it. You know, you can be creative with this too, being just a quarterback, because like you can make yourself bad on purpose and see if you, it sounds like you're gonna get drafted either way, but you can see like how low you can possibly go in the draft, like if you play bad on purpose.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is cool. So let's see, this next this next little passage is in regards to that, so let me go ahead and get to it. No matter where you get drafted, from the first round to last, once a team picks you, you're gonna have to show you belong playing with the pros. Whether you're a first rounder who needs to prove you were the perfect high pick, or a seventh rounder busting your ass to make the roster, if you want success, you have to work hard and make each opportunity count. Yeah, it actually says busting your ass.
I respect that.
Oh, we're going PG-13, guys. Rated teen for teen.
Right.
In the NFL, start building your legacy and taking your franchise to winning seasons, expanding your legend with each snap. It's not about the cash your contracts rack up. For some it may be, but about how many Super Bowls you win as your legend grows. Give your all and have fun as you play your way into memorable moments. When you celebrate your career at the end, you will be remembered among the greats, placed alongside them in the Hall of Fame. So I hope we get a Hall of Fame speech. That'd be great. Because I know 2K, they have a Hall of Fame speech. So
Really?
yeah, but you know, I don't retire after 1 year and see if I get in. So I've never been a part of one.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's a Hall of Fame speech in here, great, you know, that'd be cool. As you live your superstar story, Madden's new scenario engine, this is one of the things that's been talked about a lot, the scenario engine. It generates personalized playable scenarios, events, and dynamic challenges that tell the tale of a unique NFL career. Adding to it, in face of the franchise QB1, like in franchise mode, you choose your archetypes. So you have the strong arm, the scrambler, the improviser, and field general. Superstar abilities are tied to the archetypes you pick. Leveling up your archetypes unlock different abilities. It's time for you to take your place as the face of a franchise. So unless I just never noticed, it sounds like we have a new quarterback archetype, improviser.
Oh yeah, that's really
Improviser.
good.
And I did see in a screenshot that that improviser, like, cause there's new you know about this too, but there's like new schemes or whatever for like Madden and franchise and whatnot. Yeah, so the air raid, which is a newer scheme that they're putting in, the improviser is the perfect scheme quarterback for that offense, which I think is pretty cool. So now they have an improviser for a new scheme, so a new scheme and a new archetype. I think that's good consistency from Madden. Good job, we're proud of you. But I think this is cool. It's one of those things where, like, I can't see myself making a bunch of quarterbacks or playing it 10 times, but that first time it's going to be a real fun experience. Because it's, like, something new that they're trying, so I'm with it. I like it so far. Let's see.
Yeah.
Other Madden franchise improvements. This is our article right here. Mainly mine, because I have a franchise on YouTube. While we heard fan feedback for a superstar experience, we also dove deep into the forums and Reddit and worked with game changers to round out franchise mode in other ways too. With that, here are a few more things to get you ready to break the huddle. So, number one, Aaron, for franchise, the Pro Bowl's back. We're getting
Oh,
the
fuck
Pro
yeah.
Bowl. So, for Rashad Penny and Michael Dixon, and I can't even think of my other player right now. For those guys that made the Pro Bowl, I can play as them next year, which is cool. So it says the first thing you'll see while Madden 20 sets up is the Pro Bowl. So when the actual game's like still loading, you can play the Pro Bowl, which is cool because like last year it was the London game between the Eagles and the Jaguars. So yeah, it says you can play the Pro Bowl while the game installs, and you'll also have an opportunity to qualify for the Pro Bowl during your franchise seasons. It's another opportunity to gain valuable experience and add to your legacy. Dope, I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let's see, a rating spread. We've adjusted the range of ratings that you'll see on players. What does this mean? As an example, the range difference between a 90 overall player and an 89 overall player is now larger. So I guess we'll have a larger gap between an 89 and a 90. So that's cool, because like I don't remember exactly how it's grouped, but like you'll know the difference between a solid player and like a star player, I guess. Like it'll be a distinct difference.
Okay.
Because you know how we always talk about like there are 70 overalls who catch better contested balls than the 99 overalls.
Yeah.
So I guess this is like their way of trying to get that to happen less. Each skill point you spend will be more impactful, and you can earn more skill points over the course of a career. In some cases, you will now see a starter with an overall in the mid-50s. That's interesting. So like, I guess I don't know.
So
I like
a
it.
starter on a franchise having 50 overall.
Well, like I think less players. If I remember the stat correctly, I think they said there's 400 less players that are higher than a 70 overall with this new rating adjustment.
How do you feel about that?
I like it because I don't think all players are created equal. You know, like why should this player be a 70 if this player is better than that player? Like not all overall players are created equal. Like there's a distinct difference between, you see, now you have me thinking of like two like 80 overall players, so I can come up with a good example. Like dang, I'm actually trying to think of an example, and this is hurting my head. But like okay, so like there's a distinct difference between 81 overall Ty Montgomery and like 80, I don't know his rating, I think 84 Duke Johnson, but yet they play so similar in Madden. Like they play almost the exact same, but there's a distinct difference in the skill gap, what they do, how much they produce when given the same amount of snaps. So I don't know, I just feel like they're not all created equal.
You know, now that I think about it, I kind of like that. So like a average player could have like a 60 overall.
Yeah, basically. So like there's no overpowered shitty players, basically.
I like that.
I like it too. It's really good for franchise, which is what this is addressing. Let's see, new scenarios. So this is like the big thing that's being talked about a little bit. We've added all new in-game system that generates personalized playable scenarios featuring interactions with characters via a variety of ways, including branch and dialogue, dynamic events that reflect your performance and choices, challenges that builds the story of your unique NFL career, and more. So they had a screenshot, I think, of like Zach Taylor, the Bengals coach, talking to some created quarterback, like that somebody made, I guess, in the QB1 mode, and like they're talking about like potential like objectives, or just having a conversation like, good job, go out there and, you know, complete 60% of your passes, like. And apparently like somebody was saying like if you're playing like an opponent and they're like talking smack, like, oh, we're gonna get to you this week, like an edge rusher, and then you say, man, y'all ain't gonna touch me once, then the objective will be don't get sacked the entire game. So like that's.
Well, as a quarterback, I don't care how good my offensive line is. I ain't never talking shit about them.
Man, I'm talking shit, like, just for the sake of it. Like, if it's gonna give me more XP if I get it, but not punish me too harshly, like, it might be worth the risk. I don't know, I'd have to play it. But scenarios, that's interesting. I want to learn more about these quote-unquote scenarios that they're talking about. But here's an interesting one. Development traits. We've made larger updates to our development trait system to support superstar and zone abilities. The development traits in Madden are normal, star, superstar, and superstar X factor. So no more slow and quick. That's it's interesting.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. There are players, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are players who don't adapt and improve their game at a normal rate, and there are players who aren't necessarily superstars, but they do improve a little bit quicker than the average player. So I don't like that either. But both superstar and X Factor players can earn superstar abilities, but only X Factors can earn zone abilities. So in the screenshot, it was like, you know how you play Ultimate Team and like you can get a Saquon Barkley card and put like Never Stumble and all these abilities on them?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you can do with these superstar X Factor players.
You
You can
honestly,
put
I
stuff
don't
like that on them.
this much on this subject because that's something that could be sensitive, and that's something that me personally, but I want to see that in person before I judge it.
Yeah, I need to see how it plays too.
Because they're actually. Thank you, Matt. We're supposed to. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be like this. Thank you, Madden, for trying to make franchise better for us who play franchise.
Yeah, thank you, Madden, for hiring that prick and adding this new guy who actually cares about franchise. Thank you.
Is there actually a new guy in there? That's something I did not know.
Yeah, there is a new guy in there. The last guy last year, I forgot exactly what he said, but he was like a dick to people on Twitter. That's what like the videos of like people that I watch that play franchise were saying. It's like he was a real asshole to people on Twitter. And he like kind of neglected the whole franchise mode. So shout out to EA for getting new people in there for franchise that actually care. Because
they actually can make it where like if you user it, if you have this stuff certain ways, you can make a horrible team go 13-3 in a regular season. They need. I know that's a touchy subject, but they need to find a way not to let that happen. Like I don't care how good you are, a crappy team should, like all 60 players. If you do it right, they can go. Like better yet, like a team of all 70s. If you do users and do certain stuff right, you can go like 10-6 and make the playoffs. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, but it's realistic. Like you gotta actually build your team up, and you can't just keep the same team. And
yeah, I feel what you're saying. It should be more challenging if it's a worse team. Like to build them up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I used the Seahawks this year, and I thought it was gonna be a little tricky.
You didn't even do any big trades.
Well, yeah, it's a realistic franchise. I didn't even touch anything really with the roster, and I went 13-3. So like,
see,
it doesn't make sense. Like, and I'm pretty sure I could have picked like the Jets and still went like 11-5 at the worst. Even like tweaking sliders and everything. It's just, I wish they would improve that gap. Like, if I go in franchise and play as like the Rams and I go 11-5. But I go in with like, let's see, so not the Rams, but let's say I go in with a worser team, like a way worser team, like bottom tier, like potentially the Giants, for sake of argument, and I end up doing better, something's wrong. Because the Rams and the Giants are not created equal.
Want to talk shit on the Giants, and they used to be a playoff team not too long ago.
Yeah, and then
That's wild, right?
they took
No,
that
I
boat trip.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy that like what, 2 years ago they were a playoff team, or yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago. It's crazy, but yeah, good old Giants, I guess. But let's see, where was I? So yeah, I told you the superstar X Factor. We've also addressed one of the community's biggest complaints: players dropping down in development trait. This was a big issue, Aaron, because like I would like sim franchises just for fun, and like let's say somebody won like, or somebody made a Pro Bowl, but they went from star dev to normal. How? That's a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Or like you win the MVP, but your quarterback goes from superstar to star. Like, that should not be happening. You won. You shouldn't be decreasing in anything. You should be 99 confidence. You just won an award. You should be getting better. You shouldn't be losing anything. You literally won the MVP. So I'm glad they fixed that, because that was kind of stupid. Let's see. In Madden 20, players can no longer go down in development trait at the end of a season. That's cool. So coach mode. So I guess when you start up franchise as a head coach, coach mode is also getting scenarios at the end of, or not the end of, at the changes to development traits have a big impact on coach mode. Coaches will want to build up their teams with superstars and X Factor superstars via trade, free agency, and the draft. We've also added an overhauled lineup UI to make franchise mode even smoother. So they're basically telling us, hey, cheat the system, get superstars, go 16-0, baby. I like it. That's probably not what they're telling us at all, but contract updates. This is a big one if they do it right. We've taken a... God, I struggle with words. We've taken a blank pass. I don't know how to pronounce that word. We've taken a pass on existing player contracts to ensure they match in Madden. This will not only be more authentic, but it will also make managing your roster's cap space more realistic. Which, good, you know. If I'm using the Packers and I have Aaron Rodgers under contract for $33.5 million, I should be a little bit more considerate of like what I do with my roster, because he's eating up a chunk of that salary.
Yeah.
And like now with the Seahawks with Russell Wilson, his cap hit's gonna be like $35 million. So if I try to do stuff with the Seahawks, I'm gonna have to be more considerate. And it just goes on and on. Like, so maybe I can't. Now after free agency, like 24 million. But like a lot of people are on 1 or 2 year deals. But it's crazy. Like, let me give you an example. So Frank Clark, you know, after he declined my first deal, I gave him like a 5-year, $32 million deal. You know what he's making in real life. 5 years, $105 million. So that's like a hell of a bargain. And like, I like the fact that it's realistic, because now, like, if you don't want to pay your defensive end $21 million, all right, I'll just draft one. Peace. Because like, not everyone's trying to pay all their defensive players big bucks. But I like that though. I'm glad that they're making it up to date. Progression updates. We've overhauled our progression tuning, including making changes to XP gains from weekly training, actions on the field, and goal completion. These changes should ultimately lead to users being able to increase the overall of more players on their team, meaning they have more options in how to develop their roster. Cool, because like one of the main things about that was, you know, we go to all these practices, we put all these XP in players, and unless we mess with sliders, they're not going to increase that much in overall. Like, for example, I didn't touch the sliders at the very beginning with the Seahawks series, and Rashad Penny just made the Super Bowl and went up 1 overall. When normally, like, rookies who play well go up like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not going to cheat it, though. He's going to keep his 80 overall rating. But I'm just saying, like, I should have probably looked in the XP sliders a lot earlier. Like, I thought about it, too, but I don't know. I'm just glad they're going to try to address it.
Yeah.
Let's see. We only have 2 more things to get through. So draft updates. We've taken a full pass on our rookie generators. People familiar with draft classes from the past few years are in for some new surprises, from names to bodies to ratings and more. One more draft surprise is that the rookies with a superstar development or higher will have their development trait hidden until they've played through at least half of the season. These players have their abilities hidden until you reveal their development trait. This means that if you draft either a superstar or a X-Factor superstar, you won't know exactly what you've drafted until later in a season, so use the preseason wisely.
How do you feel about that?
So there's pros and cons to it. So I guess a pro is you know whether or not you're going to have a superstar or X Factor, because why else would it be hidden? They basically told you. But at the same time, I'd kind of want to know. Like, it'd be nice if I knew.
Because that will let me know if I need to bench the player, if I failed, or not bench him, but that let me know how much I need to use him in my season.
Yeah, like in the preseason, like if he's like a superstar X Factor, but maybe not a super high overall, maybe I can play him sparingly and like risk him not getting hurt. But if he's a high overall with a high development trait, I'll know not to play him like basically at all, except for 2 series probably, at like the first game and like a little bit of the last game. It's just different things like that. I'd rather know right away, but yeah. I guess I like the intrigue a little bit. I don't know what else to say about that. And then finally we have gameplay effects updated. We've implemented a ton of changes, like throw power overhauls to change quarterback trajectories. But that's just one example. And then of course they're plugging their stream on May 23rd for additional changes. So overall, how do you feel about all the shit we just talked about?
so more stories. I'm not going to say rag on about it. Madden 20, it has its ups, man. It really does. Madden actually has its ups for the first time in a long time, and I'm excited. But I hope Madden knows what they're doing. I know I said that about some certain games, but I hope they know what they're doing. And that's some stuff that is very sensitive to the league, or to the Madden players. I mean.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're like addressing, like when I say addressing franchise, I don't mean throwing in an archetype. I mean like they're actually diving deeper into it. But what am I, and it's a complaint that I'm gonna have for a while, because it's really hard to please all parties. But they don't know if they want to be a game for casual fans or hardcore fans, and they're really having a hard time finding that fine line. So they're gonna be in this awkward phase of like, do we please the guys who just know the people on the cover, or do we please the real hardcore, been a fan since I came out the womb football fan? And they're gonna have a hard time with that. I do like some of the changes, mainly all of them. I think there's a lot to like, a lot to be intrigued about, but until I see some gameplay and until I get more information, I'm not gonna get too excited. I'm just glad they're addressing it, I should say.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Like I said, I'm just ready to see what they end up doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, them plugging their May 23rd live stream to get more information. I just found it interesting that a game that seems to be very popular and built off of Ultimate Team had 0 to say about it, which is interesting, because they're normally so hard on Ultimate Team, like trying to do stuff.
we know what we're getting in Ultimate Team. There's not fans that are questioning Ultimate Team every year, like there is us who's questioning franchise.
Exactly, but they're always trying to please the Ultimate Team fans because that's where they get their money from.
Let's be real. They're trying to plug. They're trying to plug Ultimate Team. That's where they get their.
That's where they get their money from. Exactly. It's like they don't care about us. We're not giving them any money playing franchise, but they're finally looking towards that direction because people that are high up there in Madden YouTubing are like, yo, what the hell? And like all these social media commenters are finally like being listened to for a change.
Yeah.
So it's almost like your voice is worth it, which is pretty cool,
We're being worth it to Madden? Are you fried?
And turning over a new leaf, I guess, over there. Must have got sued or something. But yeah, man, that's really all I got to talk about. So if you guys have any more questions, hit me and Aaron up in the comment section or in the DMs or something. We'll answer more questions about Madden and.
I love Madden.
Yeah, and I would say go to Aaron when it comes to Madden because he follows more closely on like what they're doing. But like, ask both of us. I'm pretty sure we can give you those answers.
Because there's even gonna be some stuff that I don't know. I might have to ask JJ. So you're not wrong if you go to.
Yeah, and then like. Aaron was the one that kind of brought my attention, even though like I knew about it. Aaron was like, I knew about that 2 weeks ago, so I felt like I was like late. So, but it's great who you go to. No, I'm saying like with the what was it, like the new schemes or whatever. Like I honestly didn't know about it until I saw a video on it. But yeah, definitely go to both of us. Like if you're watching from Aaron's end, go to Aaron. From mine, go to me or Aaron or vice versa. I don't really care how you do it. But any questions, come to us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and peace.